little darling. I had some art made recently, and I was like, I've got to have the cats. Probably saw it if you have retweeted it on my Twitter of them. I adore my boys.
Let me see
if I can find it. There it is. It's made up.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, they love to.
Oh yeah, I
observe.
did see that. Yeah.
They love to observe.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Right.
There we go.
I adore this artist's work. I've been watching them for ages.
Who did the art?
So this is by NixOS. This is their @ on Twitter, Atelier, and then a lot of numbers.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to show their other work. That's awesome.
It's awesome. They do cool stuff with like motorcycles and stuff. The motorcycle stuff's so cool that it makes me want to get a motorcycle, sort of thing, you know.
Another project,
you know, to top off the two that are not running at the minute. I got the Miata working after all those streams in the end, and I had it working long enough to get through yearly inspection, and I've put it back up because I'm ripping the gearbox. I would have streamed that, but my face is basically just like inches off of like the sheet metal, so you just hear a lot of grunting and struggling and swearing. Just get a black screen, so it just wasn't worth it for this one. But yeah.
When I went over to when I first heard about you from Kylo, I went over to the Twitch. I think the latest stream at the time might have been one of the car streams. Like, so we have a VTuber that uses Linux, does car streams, and is also a dev. Like, this is a combination I don't see too often, but it's not a bad combination.
It's a peak trifecta of nerding out with stuff here, really. I don't know. I got really into cars because we had lockdown, really. And I owned a car. I'd been driving for years, but I was, you know, I think it's pretty normal, to be fair, to not quite know how they work at all.
Yes.
I had that dev element in me kick in one day that was just like, you don't know how something that you use every day works. You should deep dive how an engine works, because you should know this. You should know everything about this and everything. And so the fixation set in, and I watched an ungodly amount of Donut Media and Engineering Explained and all those guys until I felt like I knew how a car worked. Then I, you know, briced out my Vauxhall Corsa, my Opel Corsa. It had these tiny indicators, and I'd seen really nice cars that were actually with those indicators where the light goes lots of dots that go along in a line. I'm like, yeah, I'll have that. But the problem is the indicator's the size of a thumb, so they don't really go very.
What year of Corsa was it? I just want to.
2016.
2016.
It was
okay.
a teal one because it's my favorite color, and I'd had my first car had been one where it's like I'll settle for it. It was pretty. It was a pretty little car.
That's not a horrible color.
Yeah, it's
like
not
it.
the green one. I had many an argument about whether it was green or not.
Yeah, I can see why. To me, it looks more blue to me. Like it looks
more blue to me.
I can see how you could get to green, especially depending on the lighting.
Especially if you read the paint code, which says it's green in the door jamb for some reason, and I disagree with it. I disagree with it entirely. I don't know who they got working at Corsa, but they're colorblind. They make gorgeous colors. It's a shame they can't experience them, is what I always say. Yeah. So I was racing that out, and I would go out at night with my roommate at the time, and we'd try and do like wheel spins and stuff, you know, just typical like 20-something activities. We couldn't get it to do a wheel spin because it's a little 1.2 engine, so we'd put it in reverse. I'd have him pull the handbrake as I was trying to do it in reverse. We'd try and like do anything to get it to do spins on like dry summer tarmac. It would go. That was it. That's all we ever got out of it. And then it would stall, and we'd have to start it back up again. Embarrassing, but good fun.
I've never really so. I can appreciate cars, but I've never really like gotten super into learning how they work, but
Mm.
your argument there is compelling. I can definitely see where you're coming from there. Right nowadays, I'm driving a 2013 Subaru Impreza,
Ooh, baby.
a
Very
hatchback
nice.
Impreza.
Mhm.
It's a perfectly fine car. But
Don't you
like
want to put a
I
bigger
can
turbo
see.
on it? Go on. Go on. Don't you want to learn the joys of putting extra boost in a stock engine?
You
Join the
are
dark
making a
side.
solid argument here.
It makes cool noises, you know. If you take the blow-off valve off, it goes. You'll be in the drive-through. You'll move forward 3 feet, and it'll go. You know, it's compelling, no?
Yeah, yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's financially ruinous, but what isn't?
I
Have
can
you seen the
imagine.
prices of GPUs? I'll tell you what. You pay
That's-
less for a big turbo, and if you get the right turbo, and if you get the cheap Chinese turbo, where it's like $200 on eBay, even if it blows up, you could blow it up 4 times before you've spent the cost of a full-size turbo.
That's
That's
true.
brilliant.
And
That's brilliant value for money.
what, like 8 times, and you can afford a modern top tier GPU.
I just don't think I'm capable of saving for that long for the GPU. The turbo is achievable.
So how long have
No,
you
I'll
had
take-
the Miata for then?
So I've had that since the summer of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I got into cars like in like the March, and I was like watching Money Pit at the time, Donut Money Pit. He had a little black 1.8 MX-5 Miata, as they call them over there and everywhere else except here. I don't know why they didn't call them Miata here. I think there was a conflict or something. Anyway, I watched that and I'm like, oh, that looks sick. And it has pop-ups. And you know what? I was so into it. I didn't even know it was convertible when I was looking to buy them. It's like one of the key characteristics, but I was just so taken by the fact that it can wink at you. That I was like, I have to have this vehicle immediately and replace my reliable 2016 car right now. So I got it then. I was working a warehouse job, and I would, every time I got a paycheck, be like, all right, cool, paycheck, $600 on something. Just throw it into the car. I want wheels, I want tires, I want a cool radio, I want a steering wheel. There's ding when you put it on, and you can take it with you into the shops. I want it to really sort of copy paste a bit of that. It's not a very original build, but it is mine.
One thing I find very like I do appreciate the Miata, and one thing I find very, very, very offensive is when people decide to remove the pop-ups.
Vile. It is actually a war crime. The Geneva Convention has ruled against this. You know, you should report people who do it.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Aerodynamics, but here's the thing, right? Is you can just put the lights down, and you get the same effect.
Exactly.
You know, whenever I need to like overtake, I don't know, like a Volkswagen Charan or some mum's minivan. You know, I need the extra aerodynamics. I turn the cooling off, and I put the headlights down, and you know that's like 5 horsepower right there.
Oh, exactly.
And I didn't have to delete the headlight. You know.
You know what? Maybe I haven't seen someone do this, but yeah. Actually, it might actually be a kind of funny idea. Put a light bar in like in the Miata mouth.
Yeah. There's a lot of room in there.
Yeah. There you go. You can have your aerodynamics and drive at night. There you go.
Brilliant, actually. I've seen people put fog lights in, but that would be cool because it kind of look like it would look like one of the FNAF people, wouldn't it? With all the lights in the mouth and stuff. I've seen people put vampire fangs on them, which is very cute.
Oh yeah.
In the mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, they just bolt that on. I've been tempted by that a few times, but I'd have to give up the ability to be towed out of a ditch if I want to do that, because that's where my toe strap is at the minute.
Right.
God, it's just to have the little tooth for it to have. I've seen someone give it the 2 front teeth from the nerd emoji as well. That's good. Someone puts like a little finger on it. That's brilliant.
I do have like a lot of family members who have like project cars. I've got like, you know, some family mechanics, things like that. If I did decide to do it, I would definitely have people around me who are also interested in it as well. A lot of the people I know, they've sadly shut down now, but Holden, the factory for that,
Yeah.
they're like local to my state.
Oh.
The factory is like where it was like a 20-30 minute drive. So it's like super local, and that's like a big. Even now, the cars are getting, if you have a really good quality one, like their prices are going crazy now because they're like classic rare cars.
Drea made as well.
Yeah. Well, towards the end, there were definitely some rebadges. Like my first car was a Holden Marina. That was a rebadged. I want to say it's a rebadged Opel, actually. Something like that.
Opel. It's an Opel because there's the Opel Marina. They might have literally named it the same. I think. I don't know. I'm not as good on my Euro cars.
Yeah. But then also GM purchased like they owned the Holden brand towards the end as well. So the later cars, you can still get parts for them, but like they're not Holden branded. They're like the cars have been sold in America under GM for a while anyway. It's just if you get something that's like officially badged as a Holden now, it's like going way up in price.
Yeah, you got to get one of those rolling shells. Is the thing. It sounds like it's at that stage. Like one of my dream cars for comparison is the Nissan 180SX. Very, very much so looks like a toy car. You'll see them around. You guys, Australia, you guys get all the cool Japanese cars there because they just have to basically huck it down the bottom of the planet. I think gravity does most of the work. So those are gorgeous. But where I am, I looked around and an actual rat of a rolling shell. So no engine, no gearbox, just frame, some axles, some wheels, and suspension, if you're lucky. Was about £10,000. I don't know what that is in Australian, maybe 20,000 Australian. If I was just like rule of thumb it. Ridiculous. But if you can get into the stage where the rolling shells aren't expensive yet, get yourself an engine from Falcon, chuck that in there. You're onto a good one.
I do feel bad for people that like want it. It's like the whole PC gaming thing, right? Like everything's gone up in price. I watched during COVID a lot of donut stuff, and then as car prices were going up, and that you see the videos where they're like trying to guess secondhand car prices, and it's not even like of crazy cars, it's of cars that like a few years earlier were really cheap, and it's like 3-4 times the price they would have expected.
Yeah. America's used car market is crazy. And it's a bit of its own ecosystem, especially because, that happened everywhere. Nowhere has it been as severe or as long-lasting, it seems, as America. I wonder if that's partly just because you have to have a car there. So you're competing with people who need a car. But you're not just competing with nerds who, want to K-swap a minivan and keep it low profile, make 280 horsepower, pop some sick skids and wheelies, You're not fighting with just them. You're fighting with, Jonathan, who actually needs to get their kid to school and has a real job.
Right.
A big adult job. Yeah.